Scarlet and Violet are known for having flaws, but one of the less talked about ones are the badges. They're just so boring. Throughout the entire time the series has existed, badges were a staple, a fun, more unique way to take on physical story progression. In the story, the badges is an interesting one. Back in Gen 1, they were not the most creative, but it's Gen 1, you can't really blame them. They didn't really have an identity back then. Gen 2, they were getting a little more creative with the badges, but still had some stinkers. Gen 3 is when they really started to get good, both showing off their type and having a creative flair. A similar thing happened in Gen 4, although they were still a little more vague here. Gen 5 is when I think the badges peaked, all clearly showcasing both the type and theme of the gym, as well as having some fun verticality. Gen 6 was weird, but still alright. Gen 7 didn't have badges, so we'll skip them. And Gen 8 is really lackluster until you realize they all come together to make one big medallion, which I think is really fun. Then, Gen 9. Where did all the creative flair go? They're all the exact same thing. They look more like marathon medals than badges we're used to, so I've taken it upon myself to replace every badge in Paldea with a more fun, traditional badge. Starting with Katie, the bug specialist. Unlike any other bug-type specialist, Katie doesn't really show it in her design here too much, at least not when it comes to the colors. Instead, she opts for a much more traditional baker's outfit, with tan colors. To reference this, I'm gonna make the badge a honeypot, because honeypots are usually depicted as tan, at least in media. Honey is made by bees, and bees are bugs. After all, she does have a Teddy Ursa and Earth Ring, which I think could only be because of Bear's association with honey. So, honeypot badge, here it is. Brassius is a grass-type gym leader, and is usually the second gym leader trainers would go up against. Despite his prickly appearance, Brassius is actually an artist, so I made his badge a leaf that resembles a paint palette, which could be interpreted as either blots of paint or berries on top, also leaning into the grass type. I also made the badge a bit prickly looking, just like Brassius' personality. And yes, Brassius seems to be more of a sculptor than a painter. His whole gym badge is themed around sunflora, which are sunflowers, aka one of the things Van Gogh was most famous for painting, so it all checks out. I could have gone with a sunflower for this badge, but I think that would end up looking too much like the Thunder badge from Kanto, if I'm being honest. Iono is next, and you have no idea how badly I wanted to just use the logo for her streams as the gym badge, but I inevitably didn't do that. I did take inspiration from that though, making it an old school TV with lightning bolts for antenna and a big ol' pause button on the screen. While Iono seems to be more new gen and thus might not be too keen on her gym badge, the thing that's meant to represent her and her gym, be such old technology, but I didn't really know how to make a PC or a flat screen TV into a badge, so box TV it is. For Kofu, at first I wanted to make it a bowl of soup, but that couldn't convey the water type very well, especially since most soup isn't, blue. So I tried, and failed, at that, and eventually decided to make it a blue crab or lobster claw. After all, Kofu does seem to have more focus on crustaceans, with him using both a crabominable and a clawster, than soup in his cooking. It also has a vague water droplet motif, but is clearly not exactly a water droplet, because every other water badge is a water droplet. They're all the same. Look it up. The only water badges that aren't just water droplets are the Fen badge and technically the Trio badge if you count that. Now for everyone's favorite gym leader, Larry! I didn't really have much to go with. Originally, I was going to make it food-themed because the gym is a restaurant, but since Kofu's badge is also food-themed and Larry himself doesn't seem to have all that much to do with food, I went for a more different route and essentially made his badge into a briefcase that he always holds. It's also the only one of the gym badges that is perfectly symmetrical, which could pair nicely with Larry's intentionally bland personality. I'm also really proud of the rendering on this one. I just think it's really nice. Now, Rhyme might actually be my favorite out of all the gym leaders ever. She has this really cool wrapper thing going on, which is super unique from all the other ghost-type specialists. Also, I'm just a sucker for ghost types. For her badge, I decided to go for a microphone surrounded by this spooky, ghostly aura. Might not be the most creative way to go about this, but at the same time, it's miles better than whatever this is. For a bit, I tried making the microphone golden, like Rhyme's actual microphone, but it just looks so weird and not enough like an actual microphone, so I changed it back to the regular grays. Tulips was easy, literally just make those butterfly things she has all over her and turn that into a badge. However, to give it some more symmetry, I gave it a second yellow one behind the first one, to reference her Espathra's yellow feathers. Sure, it doesn't exactly show her psychic type all too well, but at least there's some color coordination, and with the purple being associated with psychic, it also resembles a fan, which could relate to Tulip's whole beauty theming. And for our final gym badge, we have Garusha. This is easily the most complicated badge in the video by a long shot, with the snowflake in the front to show the ice type as well, the snowboard in the back to reference Garusha's snowboarding theme. Looking back, I don't think I'm too happy with this one. The amount of detail compared to the other ones here just kind of sucks. It sticks out like a sore thumb. On top of that, it also kind of looks like a watch, which was not intentional at all and kind of throws it off a bit. But as a badge, it's fine, I guess. Kind of wish I redesigned it, but oh well, it's too late to change it now. And that is all of the Paldea gym badges getting a complete redesign overhaul. But there's still a decent amount of the video left, right? What's up with that? Well, Paldea didn't just add gym badges, it also added the Team Star badges given by their respective bosses, as well as the Titan badges given you by Arven. If you combine these with the 8 gym badges, you get a badge for all 18 types. That's a lot of badges. And just like the gym badges, they're all the same thing! Again! Jeez, why can't Game Freak just make badges like they used to? The only thing that distinguishes these badges from the gym badges are that the Titan badges have a silver border as opposed to the bronze one of the gym badges, and the Team Star badges have their logo stenciled onto it. And you bet I'm redesigning these ones too, although I want each of the 3 categories to have their own theme that distinguishes them from the other badges. The gym ones are what you'd expect from a gym badge, so let's work on the Team Star badges first. For them, I decided that instead of just their logo plastered onto this medallion, I went and just made their badge the straight-up logo, with the different types shown with different colored, layered backgrounds. Giacomo is just straight lines, Mella's is flame patterns, Atticus is dripping poison, Ortega is these little fairy wings or flower petals, you decide. And Eri is just a bunch of bricks, although I don't think it really looks like that. Although, hot take, but I think that I actually preferred the original Team Star badges to these new ones. It looks like those videos of destroying pennies for art. It could be their form of subtle rebellion, taking something and making it their very own. But this is the only time I will allow this. The rest of the badges they all still suck. The Titan badges are a completely different story though. To represent these, I went with a silhouette of the Pokemon's face, and torso in the color of their corresponding type. Like indigo for Tatsugiri because it's a dragon type, or blue for Bombardier because it's the flying type one. So go ahead and pause if you want to take a closer look at these. The only problem with these is, where on earth would Arven get these? I could understand the gym badges being mass-produced, and I might even accept the star badges. Maybe a Team Star member made these in their free time, but Arven? When would he have the time to make these? He acts like when we see the Titans, it's his first time seeing them too. So how would he even know what they look like? Who knows, maybe the Titans just kind of poop them out after being defeated or something. But that is my list of every badge for all 18 types in Scarlet and Violet redesigned. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. So, with that being said, see ya, and stay safe. While Iona seems to be more new gen and thus might not be too keen on the redesign for a gym badge, I think that it's... Oh my gosh, what am I saying? I lost my... lost where I was on the script. It also has a vague water droplet what was I saying? Oh my gosh. It stucks out. What am I doing? And Eri are exactly. I swear, every single one of these bloopers is just me saying the wrong word.